Hey everybody, welcome into this week's edition of the Top 5 from Tony's Spot On Fishing. I'm your host, Tony Krizak, and this week we are counting down our top 5 early summer bass baits that you need to be throwing around Chicagoland. Now the first one we're going to talk about has been probably one of the most famous baits in the last 10 years to come out, and it's River to Seas Whopper Plopper. Now there's a variety of sizes, but our personal favorite is the 90. Nice small compact profile. Doesn't perform quite as well in the rougher water situations, so if you're in some more waves, definitely upsize a little bit, but when you can get away with it, that size 90 seems to be just killer on just about all the lakes, ponds, and rivers around Chicagoland. Darker colors like the baby loon color works great, or something with a white belly. Pretty much when it comes to topwaters, prefer either a dark belly that's going to cast a silhouette or a white belly that's pretty natural. But the Whopper Plopper, great way to cover water and find some fish. Our next selection, we're actually going subsurface. The old Strike King Squarebills. They dive down about 3 feet, and we prefer the 1.5 size for most places we're fishing. Natural patterns, bluegills, shad, perch colors, things of that nature. If you're in some really dirty water, you may have to brighten up a little bit, but for the most part, natural patterns seem to work best. They dive about 3 feet deep, and really that Squarebill keeps it out of trouble. So if you're in any kind of rock or timber, anything like that, you're not gonna have to worry about fouling that bait up and losing it. It's gonna kick off all that cover, and that really helps produce some strikes. So new emergent flats where we have fresh vegetation coming in, the rock shorelines, anything with timber, pull out that Squarebill, cover some water, and catch some fish. Now once things kind of get a little matted up and we get the big weed mats that are up on the surface and we have the lily pad fields coming in, you know, we have a couple options. We could punch through all that stuff, but our favorite way to do it, and really the most fun way, is to fish at top water. And our favorite is a walking frog, like the Bronzeye frogs from Spro. Nice walk the dog action. If you're in the heavy cover, you can work it right through that, but once you come off those mats, you can actually work it like a walk the dog style top water and actually get that frog dancing side to side. And if you don't get the bites in the mats or in the pads, a lot of times once it exits that area and it starts walking, you're gonna get bit. Definitely much heavier equipment needed when we're in the thick stuff. Heavy rods, heavy braided line, 50-pound at least. Good bait casting gear. You'll be able to rip those fish out of the heavy cover no problem, and it is a blast. Keeping in that topwater theme, we're going to talk about my favorite topwater of all time. It's from Hedden, the Zara Spooks. Many different size options to choose from. The Zara Puppies, the regular Zara Spook, the Super Spook Jr, and the full big blown Super Spook. They come in rattling, they come in one knockers, they come in silent, and they all work really well. My personal favorite is the Super Spook Jr. And it's just a nice compact size, has the one knocker rattle to it. But we will throw the full size regular Zara Spook quite often. And I'll tell you what, you guys that are night fishing, that Super Spook with the one knock rattle, especially lakes like Lake Geneva in southern Wisconsin, or pretty much anywhere you're night fishing, ooh, look out. That is unbelievable. Low light conditions, cloudy, overcast, rainy days, first light, last light of the day, and of course overnight, you'll definitely get bit on the topwater. Now the last bait we want to talk about is probably the most effective search bait we as bass anglers have in our arsenals, and it's a spinnerbait. Now if you saw the post-spawn top 5 we did, we definitely talked about a more compact profile to a spinnerbait. Now we're going to start up in the size a little bit. We want a bigger profile. We're going to the Strike King KVD series spinnerbaits. Tandem hooks, comes pre-rigged with the trailer hook on it, which is great for the short strikes. Elongated skirt, extra action. They come in a few different models. Double willow leafs, a tandem, a willow leaf and a Colorado, an Indiana, and a Colorado. And they all have their purpose. Those double willow leafs are great for burning across the weed flats. You can work them super fast. Tandem is pretty much your everyday applications. And that Indiana-Colorado combo works great when we're in dirty water or very low light conditions. We need a little extra thump. Now, if you get really muddied up, and we've been getting really muddied up around Chicagoland lately with all the rain and storms, we can even take our tandem model, take that willow leaf off, and put another Colorado on up in front for a double Colorado model. Really get a lot more thump and vibration. The great thing about a spinnerbait, we can cover all levels of the water column with them. The faster we retrieve a spinnerbait, the higher up in the water column it runs, and the lower we retrieve it, or the slower we retrieve it, the lower it runs. So we can definitely fish all levels of the water column. And what's even nice is if we're in deep water applications, we can go to a heavier 3/4 ounce or a 1 ounce model and work deep break lines or really deep flats with it. When we're up shallower, 3/8 and 1/2 ounce sizes seem to be the best bet. And that 3/8, if you really need to scoot it around heavier cover, will ride the highest up at a little bit lower rate of speed on a retrieve. 6:3 to 1 gear ratio. You know, a lot of guys think burning the spinnerbait, you want to go faster. It's actually going to be a little too quick. So definitely keep it at a 6:3 to 1 on the gear ratio on a spinnerbait. You'll catch a lot of fish with it. It's why it's our top pick for the top 5 baits for Chicagoland early summer bass fishing. So, down in the video description below, you're going to find our links to the Amazon account for Spot On Fishing. It's the links to all the baits we just talked about in this program. And you can purchase all these baits through that account and help support Tony's Spot On Fishing. Help continue to bring great programmings around the Chicagoland, Southern Wisconsin area like we do each and every week for you. What are some of your favorite picks though? What do you like to throw early summer? We love to hear from you. Leave us comments below. We love to interact with our viewers and comment back and have good fishing conversations. So let us know what you love to throw out there. That's going to wrap it up for this top 5 though. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Krizek. We'll see you next time on Tony's Spot On Fishing.